right, did you enjoy the 90 minutes of a football game that went down there at the Emirates Stadium? For Mikel Arteta, he urged the fans to come out in their numbers. But then, the power of the Parisians who were present there at the Emirates Stadium, I think that was louder than that of the Emirates faithfuls. 1-0, that was the full-time result. Ousmane Dembele scoring as early as the 3rd minute in that encounter. To definitely dash the hopes of Mikel Arteta's Arsenal of reaching a UEFA Champions League final. Well, on the show this afternoon, we take reactions from the game that went on yesterday. Mikel Arteta, as well as the captain of the side, who has come under big criticism about his level of performance yesterday, Martin Odegaard. And then we switch our focus also to look into games set to go down today. That's between Barcelona and Inter Milan. Well, for Inter Milan, they've been without victory in their last 3 games. And to cap it all off, in their last 3 games as well, they've not found the back of the net. And of course, coming up against firing and of course, a well-drilled FC Barcelona side. What do you expect from the Nerazzurris? Talking about Inter Milan against the Blaugrana. That's talking about FC Barcelona. Well, outside of football stories on the show this lovely afternoon, we discuss about tennis, where Yannick Sinner has denied beneficial treatment in the doping scandal ahead of the Rome Masters return in the month of May. That's just before the Roland Garros. And then we'll talk about what again? Well, some other interesting updates and making the rounds there in the exciting world of sports. You know, you're listening to the voice of Oluwatimilai SAMIES Ogidi on the program this afternoon, and I'm joined alongside Peter Omo. Definitely we'll take a look at all the sporting stories making the rounds, and the biggest one happens to be just the UEFA Champions League. Just as you could hear the theme song, will play for quite a minute. And of course, we just go straight to the Emirates Stadium and take a listen to the words of Mikel Arteta. From there, we take a listen to get the reaction of Peter also as regards the game that went down yesterday. Yesterday, I was at the other side discussing about what both teams should actually look out for. And that's in the course of 90 minutes. Did it happen that way? Who were the heroes for these club sides, or especially the victorious side yesterday? Let's take a listen to the words of Mikel Arteta.
Half-time. It's half-time. It's the same message against Real Madrid after we beat them 3-0. We need to go to Paris and win the game. Today the margins were very small. I think they started the game better for 2 reasons. The first one, because they get out of our press after a lot of passes and sequences, which is their talent, and then the individual quality decided the first goal. After we have some issues, especially what we did after regaining the ball, which against them is a key moment as well. And then the team was started to be better and better. We have 2 massive chances, 1v1 chances. And at this level, the keepers and the boxes made the difference. And he certainly did tonight, not to see a different result.
But how do you feel this PSG side has grown since that October game? Because along the way, they've knocked out 3 Premier League sides in Manchester City, Liverpool, and most recently Aston Villa.
Well, it's clear they're very consistent. They go to the end of the season in April with all the players and the squad available at their best. And when you get to April, it's very important to have this.
How much do you need those Arsenal fans next week at Parc des Princes? Of course, we saw the support at Del Bernabeu back in the last stage of the competition. Next week, they go again, right?
Yeah, for sure. We're going to go with the same mentality to go there and win the game. And we will tweak a few things and be better in a few things. And then we're going to have to be ruthless in front of goal in the boxes in the Champions League. You know that the games are going to be decided there, like it was decided when they play Liverpool and Villa.
Thank you. Best of luck next week.
Thanks, Anita. Thank you.
All right, there we listen to the words of Mikel Arteta. Tweak a few things and go again at the Parc des Princes next Wednesday when they face off against Paris Saint-Germain. And just as you heard Anita also speak, well, for Paris Saint-Germain, they've defeated all the English sides they faced this season. We'll talk about Manchester City, 4-2. You talk about Aston Villa, 3-1. You talk about Liverpool, 1-0. And qualifying on penalty shootout into the next round. And so this is another test for them against an English opposition. That's Arsenal Football Club. 90 minutes done of the 180.
Thank you for having me, Sam. It's 90 done. We can't say that they've defeated the third English side we have to wait to see what will happen in the second leg in Paris in a week from today, because that game will be next week, Wednesday, and so we'll wait to see. But talking about what happened last night, Arsenal went into that game full of confidence after beating Real in the quarterfinal by 3 goals at the Emirates Stadium, but couldn't repeat that last night. The Parisians came to that game yesterday well prepared. You can see from the start of the game, everything that Luis Enrique planned with the boys worked out well. You want to say the goal came against the run of play? Yes, as expected, knowing that PSG will have that dominance in the middle of the park. We saw that yesterday. Ousmane Dembele dropping deep as the center of the pitch to pick up the ball, ran through with nobody stopping him yesterday, got the ball to the Georgian Kvaratskhelia, and of course he returned the ball back again to the former Barca player, and lo and behold, the ball was in the back of the net. So Arsenal had their struggles yesterday, like you had from Mikel Arteta. They had their chances, 2 chances, one for the Belgian Leandro Trossard, the other one for the Brazilian Gabriel Martinelli, and they couldn't convert yesterday. And so in terms of where you want to put your man of the match, UEFA gave that to Vitinha. I gave it to Donnarumma because he kept the Parisians in that game for 90 minutes, 90 plus. You also want to say, on the other hand, also PSG also had their chances, because you had the commentators of the Arsenal saying they need to convert those chances because those chances can come back to hurt them. And it reminds me of how they did in the game against Barcelona a couple of years ago, where they won at home and then they went to Nou Camp. They had chances in that game to kill off the game against Barca. They could not, and we saw what Barca did, scoring 6 on that night to qualify for the next stage. So for me, I think, yes, it's not over yet. It's 90 minutes. Liverpool scored 1 at the Parc des Princes. Aston Villa also scored 1 there. Even though Liverpool won, Villa did not. Arsenal will be hoping they've conceded 2 goals in the last 2 games against 2 English opposition. Can they go there and get the win? But I also have to pick a few players yesterday who came to that party last night well prepared. The Arsenal captain, you mentioned him in your introduction, Martin Odegaard, hasn't been the best. I haven't seen the best of him so far this season. Trossard, killing off game is key. Martinelli, your chances will come. You have to take them. And so we wait to see. I've had seen and read people talk about Thomas Partey missing last night. Yes, it was a key ingredient I was missing last night, and hopefully he will be back. I know that he's not suspended, but you know what injury can do to you just a few days to the game. I don't wish that happened, that he will be prepared and will be good to go for the game next week. So for Arsenal Football Club, they've got to get a date this weekend against Bournemouth. How will Arteta want to approach that game? Want to rest a few of his players. Paris Saint-Germain will keep resting players. Dembele is not certain he's going to play the game this weekend because of that little knock he mentioned. Just something little, nothing to bother about. He will be fit for the game next week, Wednesday. So maybe that, of course, will be a moment for him to want to rest more. Want to rest a few key players. The Ligue 1 is done. It's in the basket. It's in the store already. So they've won that one. And so we'll wait to see. But it was an interesting game last night. Last night we'll look and say, where did we get it wrong going to the second leg?
Well, where did they get it wrong? An interesting game. Yes, we saw that. Let's also take a listen to the words of that Vitinha, who definitely played also in the middle of the park for the Parisians in their game against Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium. Yes, we've actually discussed it, that where would the battle be won for both sides when they take onto the field yesterday. Yes, you made mention of Partey's that absence yesterday, and you look at Martin Odegaard, Mikel Merino, and Declan Rice playing in midfield compared to João Neves, Vitinha, and Fabian Ruiz playing for Paris Saint-Germain. So let's take a listen to the words of Vitinha, João Neves rather, well, speaking about yesterday's game.
Game for you today.
I think it was a very good game. We know that it's not the end. We know it left 1 game. We already as in the same position like Arsenal today against Liverpool. So we are ready for fight to 1 game.
It's a third English team you're playing. So first it was Liverpool, then it was Arsenal. In this year, it seems like you really are enjoying playing against. There's a little bit of physicality.
Yeah, the Premier League is a little bit physical. like I said a few times in the interviews, but in these moments we have to show our best, our capacity to win duels, to run a little bit more, to suffer for the team, suffer for the PSG. So I think this kind of games is good for us to improve and to get us better.
Well, it's quite interesting you're using.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
Tí wọ́n bá bi ọ́ léèrè pé kí o dárúkọ eré ìdíje géèmù mánigbàgbé tó dángájá, bẹ̀tánù ni ìdáhùn rẹ̀ lọ́jọ́kọ́jọ́. Ó yá tara ṣàṣà kí ìwọ náà bá wọn jẹ àǹfààní nínú géèmù alárinrin tó fanimọ́ra ní ìpele pẹ̀lú ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà igba 200,000 owó ìkíni káàbọ̀ àti àwọn ẹ̀bùn mìíràn bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Bẹ̀tánù ayò ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ báyìí. Forí pípẹ́ tayò yìí o. Ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ látòrí ọmọ ọdún 18 lọ sókè. Alájọṣepọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ Aston Villa ni wá.
Stay tuned to 32 FM 94.9.
All right, not switching away from the UEFA Champions League. We listened to the words of João Neves just before the short timeout, where I said this sort of games are also needed to test the ability of the club side. And also, let's take a listen to the words of Arsenal's captain, Martin Odegaard, who was, maybe for many, he came under lots of criticism. So let's take a listen to what the Arsenal captain also had to say.
To the situation, nearly getting back in via the disallowed goal, 1-0 down going at half-time into the second leg. What do you say to your teammates as you come off that pitch?
No, I mean, I think everyone is a bit disappointed with the result. We wanted to win here today, and we wanted to do better in certain areas. But it's just half-time. We have another game, and we have to analyse today, learn from it, and make sure that we go full gas into the return.
Martin,
All right, so you heard the Martin Odegaard there. And now we discussed about Thomas Partey. Being out of that's the first leg. But then, what else can we see? You remember I made mention of Pacho, Marquinhos. If Arsenal could if Paris Saint-Germain could get anything out of that game. And this is what they got, a clean sheet out of the Emirates Stadium. And for the other team, talking about Arsenal, I think I made mention of Lewis Kelly as well as Jeroen Timber being good man markers. And they actually kept 𝐾𝐈𝐒, Ousmane Dembele, and Doué, even Bakola. When I say keep off, it's about maybe dribbles completed and all that. It's fine that Ousmane Dembele scored. 𝐾𝐈𝐒 was the one who provided the assist in that Arsenal's moment of lack of concentration in that game. What other thing did you notice in the course of 90 minutes?
One other thing I also noticed was Mikel Arteta and Arsenal front three not switching, not interplaying. You take a look at Dembele, Doué, and Kvaratskhelia. There's that moment in that game where they switch positions.
Yeah.
But Arsenal weren't doing that, except for one occasion when Mikhail drift left, and he almost did something for the Gunners, but didn't happen. So you just saw him play in his usual position, never switch with Martinelli, never switch with Trossard never switch with Martinelli. Okay, maybe Trossard and Martinelli switch at a few times, but for the three of them to switch, that never happened. But that we saw with the Parisians. They did well in the course of the game. That's what they've always done during the course of the Champions League. Did with Manchester City. We saw with Liverpool. We saw with Villa also in the quarter final. So that Arsenal didn't do yesterday. So I'm hoping that Mikel Arteta is working something, because nothing really new yesterday from the Gunners. Nothing really new. They didn't create any special moment to say, "Oh, I haven't seen this. This something changed from them." But for Luis Enrique, he was spot on. He knew what Arsenal would do before the game. He said that they've watched and they've prepared for Arsenal when it comes to set pieces, and that they did yesterday well. When Arsenal even scored the goal that was disallowed by the referee, by the Slovenian referee from Mikel Merino, you just felt that that was the moment Arsenal needed. But hey, The referee consulted with the VAR room and they said the ball was that the Spaniard was offside and the goal won't stand. And apart from that moment, Arsenal really struggled in that game. It was a game that ordinarily Paris Saint-Germain should have killed off, with chances from Gonçalo Ramos to Barcola, and of course a few that went to Kvaratskhelia, and you have to give kudos to David Raya for that one. So for me, it's all to play for in the second leg, and Arsenal and Arteta must do something a little bit different going to the second leg, because as we speak right now, his advantage, though not massive, for the Parisian.
All right, moving straight to the game set to go down later tonight. Barcelona against Inter Milan in the UEFA Champions League semi-final first leg. Well, of course, these sides, it's all about the heavyweights of that. Well, we say that European football, Inter Milan, we can't forget what they did also, and also for Barcelona. Well, this side also, the last time they won was that's I think 2014, 15-16 season when they won the treble under Luis Enrique. But now, what are you expecting in this encounter going down tonight, Barcelona against Inter Milan?
For Inter Milan, they've got the bigger issue here. Barca, what's the last time they lost the game? They've been good. Yes, they lost to Dortmund in the UEFA Champions League, but in the league, they've been fantastic. We saw how they went about Real in the Super Cup in Seville, where they won by 3-2. That stretched them. 120 minutes of football. Inter haven't been the best. They lost to AC Milan in the Coppa Italia semi-final second leg. They lost over the weekend to Roma. Claudio Ranieri is still pulling strings there for them. Tonight, it's Hansi Flick, and of course, that will be in Barcelona. It's going to be a tough one. A couple of players out injured. Benjamin Pavard will not be playing tonight. The former Bayern Munich player, good for them. That Marcus Thuram is back training with the side, so maybe kind of positive for them. But building up to the game, momentum is in favor of the Spanish team to get this one done. And this is what has been classified as a game between two former champions. Last night, it was two teams who have never won the championship before, but now these are two former heavyweights, Inter Milan. We saw what they did during Jose's time in 2010, how they went to Camp Nou, stunned Camp Nou. Yes, they lost that game, but they got the job done earlier. Before that return. So for Inter Milan tonight, I see what they want to do. How will Simeone set up his team? Will they go all defensive? And when they do play that 3-5-2 formation with Marcus Thuram and Lautaro Martinez leading the line forward, they have the wing backs flying forward. Is it going to be Damian or is it going to be Dumfries in the other part of the field? Where would they do? They do DeMarco. And just to put all of this in context, I think that for Inter Milan, they have all to play for tonight. For Barca, it's going to be the same old Barca. Yes, without Robert Lewandowski, they've been able to win games without him, with Ferran Torres, who will always come to that party and score goals just the way he did over the weekend against Real in the Copa del Rey final. Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, these are two deadly players. How will Simeone
Are you not looking at it that these guys actually might be tired?
I don't think they
playing 20 minutes.
In fact, they will be super excited. If that lost the game to Real on Saturday by 3-2, I would say maybe the issue of being tired mentally will come to play. But beating Real ahead of a game against Inter Milan, what else again do you need? That's all you need to do. And so beating Real on Saturday, and now they have to play Inter Milan, a little bit, but that excitement, that euphoria of beating Real will be there to play Inter, to beating Real, and to play Inter tonight. That's all you need to do. That's all you need. That's the tonic you need to go win the title. That's the tonic you need to go win the championship, to win the league also. So I think for me, the issue of being tired doesn't come to play. It is a good motivation for Barca tonight against Inter Milan. Well,
being a good motivation to be a part of the show, you can call 07055 949 0809 7000 949. Those are the numbers in which you can reach us in the studios of 32 FM 94.9. Well, just as we have that games set to go down, or the game set to go down tonight is just going to rekindle that some bit of that rivalry between Inter Milan and FC Barcelona. But this is our Victor on the line. Let's pick his call to know what he has to say. Good afternoon, Victor. Hello, good afternoon, Victor.
Hello, good afternoon, Peter.
Good afternoon.
Well, talking about tonight's game, Barcelona will win both legs. I would have preferred a kind of a Barcelona-Arsenal final, but
still open.
You never can tell.
I guess this is the end of the road for Arsenal. How will you lose at home? I expect to go to PSG and win. So it's end of the road.
Atletico did it this season. They defeated Paris Saint-Germain there.
Liverpool also did.
When much was not at stake. But now PSG has never won the Champions League.
Same as us now.
And yes, there's this thing about Champions League, the way I've seen it. First timers don't win it. First time finalists don't win it. But when they qualify the second time, they get to win it. So PSG will want to qualify for the final the second time so that they will win it. But still, I don't see how that will happen. I don't see how they will beat Barcelona. But I think it's going to be a PSG Barcelona final.
You see that being a PSG.
And only two teams have.
In the history of English Premier League?
No, not in Premier League. Two teams in the UEFA Champions League have, in recent times, have gone ahead to win the second leg after losing the first leg. So, which is maybe Arsenal will be the third. That will make that happen.
I don't see that happening right now. It can't happen.
Okay.
PSG are super motivated.
What if it happens?
I doubt it.
You doubt it?
You want to play the bet again?
Victor, no, it's not about placing a bet. We still have that in the English Premier League, but you can just make a bold call on this. If you see Paris Saint-Germain qualifying for the finals, 1-0 is actually a slim margin of victory. Arsenal, all they need to do is get any margin victory. See, a victory for Arsenal would gain them qualification, maybe to extra time, yes, but just any marginal victory for them. There are no away goal rule anymore. That's the easy thing for Arsenal now.
I understand, but will PSG just fold their hands and watch Arsenal beat them at the Parc des Princes?
See, okay, now let me tell you, Victor. Paris Saint-Germain played against Manchester City. They lost focus. Man City scored twice, but you could pardon or maybe not pardon Man City. They actually surrendered that 2-goal lead where they lost eventually by 4-2. And then you talk about Aston Villa also going there, scoring first. Liverpool went there, they scored at the death of the game.
No, you know what?
So all the English sides that went to the Parc des Princes, they've scored.
Okay, what I want to add to it, Victor, is that when we put this on the table, let's also know that if the Parisians can go to London and beat Arsenal, why can't Arsenal also go to Paris and win? I'm just saying that's just my own position about it. I'm not saying it's over in this game. It's still open, because if you can come to my home and beat me, what makes you think I can come to home also and also beat you? That's just what I'm putting on the table.
As far as I'm concerned, it is over.
Yes. It's opinion. Opinion is respected, man. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Victor. But switching away from that football now, let's discuss about tennis, where we have 𝐒𝐲𝐄𝐋𝐄. She's into the next round of the Madrid Open, where she defeated Madison Keys, coming from a set down 6-0, 6-3, 6-2. And 𝐶𝐈𝐒𝐄𝐑 also defeated Miran Dreva. That's in straight sets, 7-6, 6-1. Later today, well, I think the game is started already. Uchijima up against Elina Svitolina, and also by 7, Aryna Sabalenka will be up against Matia Kostyuk. And then in the male category also, I could tell you that Jack Draper is in action against Tommy Paul. Grigor Dimitrov by 6:30 will be up against Diallo, and by 8:30, Alex de Minaur will be up against Lorenzo Musetti. Francis Tiafoe lost to the hands of Arnaldi in the early hours of today. So this will be the size of the package of the program this lovely morning, this afternoon rather. We will come again tomorrow morning, that's by 7:45 a.m. to discuss more about important stories. I've done this alongside Peter, and I am SAMIES, your sports captain. Enjoy your rest of the day, and bye for now.